Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lindo. So today I want to talk about whether getting like super great results in grade 12 will help you to maybe perform academically better in your varsity, or let me just say in first year, right? Well, there's not really direct relationship between your grade 12 marks and your maybe your first year results, because what is most important is that is for you to get good marks in grade 12 for you to be accepted. Once you get accepted, I don't think you should worry about someone who got 100% in mathematics, 100% in physical science, because when you start with the academic year in varsity first year, you all start from scratch. You all become like babies. You are all new to this. And chances are, yes, you might be having that 100% and that 100% in physical science and mathematics and other modules, or 90 something. And then when you come to varsity and you find it hard to adjust to the environment of varsity, and you struggle maybe emotionally because you get homesick often, right? And maybe you are still scared, and maybe you are afraid of asking questions, you are just shaking, that can affect your academic performance. So that 100% that you got in your metric may not really be helpful, and you might find someone who got accepted with a 70%, but they just got in varsity and they just adjusted easily to the environment, and they are not distracted by just being new to the varsity life on their academic performance. And you might find that person performing better than you, whilst you are having 100% and someone having a 70%. Some people, when they come here, they come with those super great marks, like average of 90 something percent, but they maybe tend maybe to think that because they've got those super great marks, and they think maybe in first year their grade 12 marks will just make them to also perform better, which is not the case. There are a lot of factors that come into varsity life. Hey, there are so many factors that can affect your academic performance, even the country that you're coming from. Maybe if you are from another country, when you are coming to a new country, you are still new, you are afraid the language that you are speaking, you don't understand it. Yes, the language of teaching and learning is English, but the friends that you have to make, they may be speaking a language that you don't understand. That can be another factor, being from like a village and you come to a city, there are lights, there are lifts, there are just tall buildings. All those things, they come into play here. You cannot just say because I got super great marks in grade 12 it means I'm gonna ace my first year. No, that is not the case. When you come here, you find people who just got accepted by just minimum requirements. They just got those minimum requirements and they perform exceptionally well in first year here. And then you get those who maybe come with minimum requirements, just meeting the minimum requirements, and they lack. So, and there are other ones who having like super great marks, but then in first year they just have some few problems, and then they don't perform academically well as compared to their metric results. And there are those who come with super great marks and they still perform well. So there's no like a linear relationship between your grade 12 marks and your first year marks. There's really, you cannot just predict by just saying because I got good grades in grade 12 then I'm gonna do good. I'm not saying don't get good grades. It just depends on many factors, right? The place that you're coming from, your personality, your well-being, right? Sometimes you come here, you don't even have a bursary. That is stressful because the fees are very high. You come here and then you don't have accommodation. That can affect your academic life, right? Regardless of the good marks that you got, not having accommodation, how will you attend classes? How will you concentrate in class if you don't have accommodation? You see, that can affect your academic performance. So if you are doing grade 12 and you think because maybe your friends might get 100% and you might get 70%, and you think maybe you are maybe a failure. No, the most important thing is that to get good grades in grade 12, such that you get accepted. Once you are accepted, don't worry about anything else. Don't worry. It doesn't mean that if you get 70% when you come here, you're also going to get maybe 70% in your grades. No, you might get 90, you might get 100, you might get good grades, or you might get lower than that, right? So it just depends on a lot of things. So what I'm saying is that there's no direct correlation between your grade 12 performance and your first year performance. It depends on a lot of things. uh, Moving from grade 12 to varsity, it's a vast difference. It's a huge gap. There are just so many things that come into play. So factoring all those things can show that just because you did super great in grade 12 doesn't mean that you're going to do super great in varsity. And simply because you did not do super great in grade 12 doesn't mean that you're going to do super horrible in varsity. No, you can come here with just the minimum marks, just those minimum marks that got you accepted. Or maybe you were even on the waiting list, right? Maybe you're even on the waiting list because they first consider those with super great marks, right? Before they can come to the other ones if there's still space. You might be on the waiting list for like a week or so, and then you get accepted late. That doesn't mean that you're not gonna do good. No, it doesn't mean that. You can do good. You can do good, but the major factor is that if you can quickly adapt to the varsity life, you can do well academically. You can really pass your first year, even if it's not passing with distinctions, but you can pass and survive the first year. It's really painful when people come from matric with those distinctions, and when they come to varsity they fail. I'm not saying you should fail in second, third year. Well, failing in the other years, I don't think is just much of a problem, because come on, you are just used to this and you know that there is failure. You have accepted that, right? But if you are just fresh from grade 12, parents are just proud of you, the community, maybe you are the top student in the village or in the province or in the municipality, and you come here with that energy, and then at the end of the year you fail. I think it's really, really painful at that point. So failing in first year is very painful. I didn't fail in my first year, but then by just thinking about it, it's just so painful, because your parents are just on that high level that, you know what, our child is gonna make it, and you disappointed them, and you also disappoint yourself, right? It's very painful. Maybe let's try to avoid it by all means. But then failing in first year doesn't mean that you're not gonna get the degree. No, in varsity you can fail in first year, and second year, third year, fourth year. You can fail each year every time before you pass it and still make it. It's okay, right? It's okay. So yes, I hope when you come to varsity, you will adjust quickly. Yeah, I hope you will adjust quickly. That's the main key thing. Have accommodation, adjust quick, try to adjust quickly. I don't know how, but then try by all means to not to be homesick more often, because it will affect you mentally. Even the academic performance will be affected. People are depressed here. People are really depressed here. There are a lot of factors. I hope you do good in your first year. Goodbye.